know earthquakes of magnitude 5 and above are very destructive and they have fatal consequences. In fact, earthquake is a natural calamity which is indeed very disastrous. So in today's video, we will discuss about the destructive effects of an earthquake. Earthquakes destroy buildings and other human properties. Now, when a building collapses, many people get trampled under the buildings. Thus, intense shaking of the earth's surface caused during an earthquake also leads to mass death. The strong tremors produced during an earthquake creates cracks or fissures on the earth's surface. These cracks and fissures disrupts the land transport as the roads are breached and the railway tracks are bent. Thus, earthquake damages land transport. Another destructive effect of an earthquake is that earthquake often triggers fire. When a building collapses, the gas pipes and the electrical wires also get damages and this induces fire. Thus, earthquake may trigger fire. Earthquake also produces landslides in hilly regions. During landslides, the rocks and debris slide down the slopes of mountain and blocks the roads. These debris may fall on human beings, buildings and vehicles. Thus, landslide triggered during an earthquake causes additional damage to life and property. Let me give you an example of this. An earthquake of magnitude 7.6 occurred in the state of Kashmir. The earthquake was so intense that it destroyed an entire village and blocked the flow of Jhelum river by creating a natural dam. Now, we human beings also produce dams to obstruct the flow of a river. But the creation of this natural dam by an earthquake was undesirable because it obstructed the flow of a river and prevented the availability of water in the adjoining regions. Thus, landslide is a destructive effect of an earthquake. In the previous example, we saw how an earthquake blocks the flow of a river. This commonly happens when an earthquake triggers a landslide which causes a natural dam and blocks the flow of a river. Also, due to severe tremors produced during an earthquake, the river flows backwards. That is, instead of flowing this way, it flows backwards because of the tremors produced during an earthquake. This is how an earthquake is responsible for change in course of a river. For instance, an earthquake of magnitude 8.7 occurred in the state of Assam. This earthquake blocked one of the tributary of Brahmaputra river by creating a natural dam. Thus, earthquake changes the course of a river, which is a destructive effect of an earthquake. Earthquakes that occur on the sea floor produces large sea waves. This phenomena is called tsunami. We will study about tsunami in details later. But for now, let me tell you that this tsunami is another natural disaster which causes immense destruction to life and property. One such destruction occurred in 2004 when an earthquake of 9.0 magnitude was caused in the Indian Ocean. This earthquake produced large sea waves or triggered tsunami, and this tsunami affected the surrounding countries of Sri Lanka, India, Malaysia, Thailand and Indonesia. The tsunami also took away more than 2 million lives. In fact, this tsunami is one of the deadliest natural disasters ever recorded in history. Another destructive effect of an earthquake is liquefaction. So what is liquefaction? Liquefaction is a state of transformation of granular materials from a solid into a liquefied state. Now, how liquefaction occurs? Liquefaction occurs when loosely packed sediments lose strength due to intense shaking of the earth's surface. Thus, when earthquake shakes the ground intensely, the loose sediments get converted into a liquid state, and this is known as liquefaction. Liquefaction occurring beneath the buildings causes additional damage during an earthquake. In this picture, we can see that the cars and buildings sinks into the ground because the ground has liquefied, and this picture illustrates liquefaction. A similar phenomena occurred in Japan when an earthquake of 7.6 magnitude hit the state of Niigata, which is located in Japan. In Niigata, a similar phenomenon occurred because the human properties, cars and buildings sank in the ground due to liquefaction triggered by an earthquake. Now, before we proceed with our lesson, can you help me to answer this question? Which one of the following is not caused due to an earthquake? Is it soil erosion, liquefaction, tsunami or landslide? Well, the correct answer is soil erosion, because we just discussed that liquefaction, tsunami and landslides are the destructive effects caused by an earthquake, while soil erosion is not caused by an earthquake. Now, although earthquake is a very undesirable natural activity, but the effects caused by an earthquake are not always disadvantageous. So now let us discuss about the advantages or benefits of an earthquake. We know an earthquake destabilizes or unsettles the earth's crust. This leads to the formation of structural plains or coastal plains. Another importance of earthquake is that it leads to the formation of spring. Now, how a spring is formed? We know an earthquake causes cracks or fissures on the earth's surface. Now, due to tremendous pressure, sometimes the underground water comes up to the surface and leads to the formation of spring. Thus, structural plains and spring are constructive effects of an earthquake because these landforms are formed by an earthquake. Now let us discuss where in the world we can find earthquake, or what are the earthquake prone regions of the world. The Pacific Ring of Fire is a belt surrounding the Pacific Ocean. This region comprises the active volcanoes and major earthquakes of the world. Some of the active earthquakes of the world, like Chile earthquake of 1960 and 2010, Indian Ocean tsunami and earthquake of 2004, Japan earthquake of 2011 and Alaska earthquake of 1964 occurred in this region. But why is this region very prone to seismic activities? This is because during the formation of earthquake, if you remember, I said that earthquakes are formed due to movement of tectonic plates and immense pressure exerted during a volcanic eruption. Now look at this map. In this map, we can see that the major volcanoes like Mount Fujiyama, Mount Pinatubo, Mount Krakatoa, Mount Tambora and Mount St. Helens are located at the divergent plate boundary of these tectonic plates. So this region of Pacific Ring of Fire comprises of active volcanoes, and therefore this region is also very prone to seismic activities. Therefore, since earthquakes are closely related with movement of tectonic plates and volcanic activities, so the region of Pacific Ring of Fire is a major earthquake prone region of the world. Another earthquake prone regions of the world are Mid-Atlantic Ridge and the African Rift Valley. In the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, earthquakes are mainly formed due to sea floor spreading. In this map, this is the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and in this map, this region is the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Here, see that when the tectonic plates like the North American plate, the South American plate and the African plate diverge, it induces seismic activities and causes earthquakes. And again, another important earthquake prone region is the African Rift Valley. In the African Rift Valley, as the African plate and Arabian plate diverge, it induces seismic activities and causes earthquakes. Another earthquake prone regions of the world is the Alpine region, here in the Mount Alps, and Himalayan region, here in the mountain of Himalayas. The severe Nepal earthquake that occurred in 2015 is a part of this Himalayan range. So in the previous slides, we discussed about the earthquake prone regions of the world. Now let us discuss about the earthquake prone regions of India. PIB, or Press Information Bureau of India, has demarcated the earthquake prone regions of India based on geology and possibility of earthquake. This map shows the earthquake prone regions of India. In this map, the region marked in green color is Zone 2. Zone 2 is seismically least active region. That is, this region will have least seismic activities. Now, the region marked in yellow is Zone 3. This region will witness moderate seismic activities. Now, the region marked in orange is Zone 4. Zone 4 will witness high seismic activities. And finally, the region marked in red is Zone 5. Zone 5 will witness very high seismic activities. Thus, Zone 5 is seismically the most active region. So, this map shows the major earthquake prone regions of India. Zone 5 is the most active, while these zone marked in green is least active regions. Now, although we can measure earthquake, but prediction of earthquake is actually impossible. Even though we cannot predict earthquake, but we can take certain precautions that will minimize the adversities caused during an earthquake. The first step is that the seismologists can study the seismic activities occurring on the Earth's surface and aware the citizens using mass media if there is a possibility of an earthquake. The government should pass laws that allows the construction of only earthquake resistance building. In fact, the government must conduct regular monitoring and demolish dilapidated buildings, so that even if earthquake occurs, these damaged buildings should not fall on anyone. In spite of media awareness and required precautions, earthquake might occur. So what to do when an earthquake occurs? So now I will discuss about the steps that should be taken during an earthquake. So during an earthquake, the best measure is to stay in open space till the vibrations stop. So if you feel any sudden tremors, then you must run out of your houses and stay in open space like fields or parks. But what to do if you are indoors and cannot run out of your house immediately? Well, there are measures. Firstly, you should not panic and must take shelter under a table and cover your head. It is very important to cover your head. Also, you should lock the gas cylinders and shut down your electric meter. This will prevent the fires that may be triggered during an earthquake. So, these are the measures that can be taken during an earthquake. Although if we take proper measures during an earthquake, the adversities caused by an earthquake are actually inevitable. So, what to do after an earthquake occurs? After an earthquake, the victims that suffered due to an earthquake should be attended immediately. They must be given proper first aid and should be taken to hospital on immediate basis. In this picture, we can see that the victims affected by an earthquake are rescued by the rescue team and they are taken to the hospital. Water and free food should be made available to the victims. The homeless victims should get shelter in government camps. Also, the government should take proper measures and repair roads, bridges and buildings on immediate basis. So, these are the measures that should be taken. An earthquake. So, in today's video, we firstly discuss about the effects of an earthquake. The effects of an earthquake are mostly destructive. Earthquake causes tsunami, landslides, liquefaction. They also causes immense destruction to life and property. Next, we discussed about the earthquake-prone regions of the world and earthquake-prone regions of India. And finally, we discussed about the measures that should be taken before an earthquake, during an earthquake, and finally the measures that should be taken immediately after an earthquake. We will discuss about one of the major destructive effects of an earthquake, that is tsunami. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers or to get access to our 5,000 amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million-plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubts resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, but it's rewarding too. So register for free now.